everybody. This is the Coffee with the Geek program. It is December of 2022, coming down to the end of the year. My guest today is someone that I've been following on Instagram, and if you're not following her, you definitely need to. Her name is Jordan Villanueva. I think I got it. And she is Jordan Nueva Media on Instagram and Jordan Nueva on TikTok. Definitely check both of those places out. So my intro is a pretty simple one. I am an avid fan of usually Twitter and Instagram. I've become a really big fan of Instagram recently. I've been checking a lot of videos out, and it's funny. There's funny things, there's interesting things, but Jordan's came on and she does a lot of just really cool and useful hacks. And again, most of my guests, or really all of my guests, are all about people that inspire me. And when I saw your videos, they really inspired me. First of all, they gave me useful tech tips, but really your style and your delivery is really awesome. It's short, to the point, and useful. So Jordan, let's just start there with your videos, and then we'll backtrack and talk a little bit more about you and your background. But can you talk about your videos and tell me maybe the process for you to create those awesome short videos, and what goes into your kind of content creation and thought process?
Yeah, for sure. So with the videos, originally I was super camera shy. Like I really don't like to be on video. It just creeps me out completely. And
I
even
know.
listening to myself again, it was super uncomfortable. Um, but after a few times, like you just get used to it, and you just get used to how you're supposed to present yourself in front of the camera. So the way that I make the short videos is kind of like I've had like a problem, or I don't know if it's like a blessing or a curse, but since I was young, that I tell stories very much like to the point. And my dad, when we were kids, he was telling me how like my mom tells the stories where she has to have like a foreshadow of character development, and then whenever you ask my dad for the story, he just tells you who was there, what happened, and that's it. So I'm very much like that. I've been like that for like a while, and I like to tell a story just kind of like getting straight to the point, and kind of just like nothing, no fluff in between. So not really a build up to anything. So I think I found short video marketing, or short videos, a lot easier for me to do.
And tell me about the creation process. What do you use? What do you use to record and edit?
Yeah, it's great because all you really need to use is your phone. So I film it natively on the TikTok app, and after that I can put it on all the other platforms such as YouTube and Instagram. And all I do is really I just take off the watermark that says TikTok on the left side, and I can just put it on all the other platforms.
So really, TikTok is where you start, and you use the TikTok built-in editor.
Yeah, unless I need to edit something that like requires showing my phone. Like I think I made one video where I was showing a quick iPhone hack, and I was using my phone, so I'm like I can't use that. So I just took out my DSLR camera, filmed my phone, and then put that into Premiere and edited it that way. But otherwise, yeah, everything is on phone.
So really, the creation process is pretty easy. Do you write a script for it, or you just kind of rehearse it live time?
I originally started off with writing a script. So what I would do originally was I would write a script on Thursday, and then I would film everything on Friday nights. So I'd have just like a really big bulk of everything, and I would have to keep going back and forth to it. And to be honest, I think that that's like the best strategy to do. But I've kind of fallen off of that bandwagon, and I do the videos daily. But since I kind of already have a better idea of what works with TikTok and Instagram and what doesn't, it's easier for me just like to pump out a video every single day, with just saying the key points and just having like 3 point form notes of what I need to talk about. But I didn't start like that. Originally script, and then now it's more so point form notes.
So you feel more comfortable as you create.
Yeah, significantly more.
So it sounds, so how about like just sound? You just use the mic that's built into your phone any other?
No, I originally was using it, but then I'm like, I just wanted to up it a little bit more. So I did get a clip-on mic that I ordered from Amazon. And it's kind of trickier because I made sure it was a clip-on mic because I have my trademark that some people apparently are into that I like hit the screen at the very end. So it has to be clip-on. But other than that, you don't need much equipment to start up with it.
So the clip-on mic though just gives you a little better quality sound.
Yeah, slightly better.
Okay. So if we're talking about, and again, I work mostly with teachers, and I want to try and use your kind of conversation here to inspire them to create video. And, during the pandemic, I was really trying to convince teachers, use video, because this is, even when students were back in class wearing masks, I think it was really helpful for them to see a teacher's face and to see their mouth movements, and, for vocalizations, for learning, even just language learning, I think is really valuable to see a teacher's mouth movements. So that's kind of my secret trick behind interviewing you, is to try and get, other teachers besides me inspired in creating video. And I think you've kind of alleviated a couple of concerns. First of all, you don't need to have a super duper camera. You don't need a super duper microphone. Most teachers already have the smartphone. They have the software. They could get the software, whether it's using software that's built into TikTok or other free apps that they can use. So let's talk about the other pieces of the creation process. And again, you said you created a script at first, but now you kind of do a little more free form, and I think that's just natural. And I know for me too, when I was first doing videos, the ums and the ahs and the nervousness of being, seeing yourself again, hearing, your voice out loud, it's always a different and an uncomfortable kind of process. But once you get over that, you feel pretty good about, your presentation style. So it's not a huge cost to create videos. What about like just filming, because sometimes you show how to do something. Are you just filming from your camera to your computer? Is that?
No, not typically from the camera to the computer. Anybody can make videos at this point, and it's so great right now because it's kind of like the decentralization of media going on, that you don't have to be like get a deal with like Hollywood or anything like that.
Mhm.
So you can literally just make a video and then have a video go viral. So all you really need is like a phone, whether it's iPhone or Android, and the editing softwares are either you can get a free app that already goes with TikTok, such as CapCut, and they've kind of been like basically white labeled from TikTok by TikTok, so that you don't necessarily need to use the TikTok platform, and you can just use CapCut and push it into the platform. Or pretty much any social media app now just has some kind of natively integrated camera that you can use. So at this point, it's kind of just like a point of like where it's more so merit of it. Do you have a good video? Do you have a video that people like? And if so, the algorithm will push it up to the top and you're going to get noticed. So it can be good and it can be bad, but at this point, anybody can do it, which is great.
So you talked about being noticed and your videos being noticed, and let's just, the question I think is a good one and a fair one. Do you make money off of this? And
yeah,
is the money good money? And again, you don't need to go into specifics, but is it enough to make a living off of?
Yeah. So in terms of like, do I get paid by Instagram? No, you don't get paid by Instagram or TikTok. I think that there's a level where you can become like join a creative platform, but I can't really speak much to that. I'm not too familiar with it. But how I use it is I get clients from TikTok and from Instagram that reach out to me if I can do their marketing. And that's one way. And then the other way is, yeah, we do have sponsorships from time to time. And especially after you get past the $10,000 followers, you start getting brands that start reaching out to you. So not, I guess to answer your question, not necessarily like from the platform itself, though in 2023, YouTube is going to start to pay creators as like an incentive. But as of this moment, it's more so brands that reach out to me and like, hey, can you make a sponsored post?
So it's really not about the money per se from the followers and Instagram or TikTok itself, but really it's a marketing. Really, you're marketing yourself and your services, so
Yeah,
it pays
exactly.
off in that way. Awesome. So let's see. There's so many questions I want to ask about the process, but I want to try and tailor them to, say an educator. So the cost is pretty convenient. It's not hard to do once you get it. Posting can be free if you put it out, on Instagram, YouTube, you name it. And the software is often that you can use is usually part of the phone. Do you use Android or iOS?
I'm I'm like a hardcore Apple fan, which is it's a conflicting opinion. My dad and my brother are Android like diehard, and my mom and I are iPhone users.
Yeah, I'm an iPhone too. All right, so let's dig in a little bit about you. So can you tell me a little bit about your background? Again, I approach this from an educator standpoint, so I'm curious about just your thoughts on because in a sense, I see you as a teacher in some ways because you are teaching people a concept, whether that's a hack about Google, or Gmail or your iPhone. You are teaching, really. Your videos are teaching. So I think when I look at you, I think like when I see your videos, I'm like, wow, she taught me something quickly and in a quick way, quickly and in a proficient and productive way. So tell me about your background and maybe your education and then your social media background.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of education, I wasn't super a really big school person. I actually I have a very big problem paying attention to things that like turn off my interest ever since I was a little kid. I just remember being in like high school or elementary school, and if I had an assignment from like a teacher and then they would talk like a full hour-long lecture, my brain would just like tune off. And then we would have an assignment at the end of it, and I'd be like, I don't even know what the assignment was. I was not paying attention for like 90% of of the lecture. So I was never super academically inclined. Unfortunately, my whole family is. And I was more so like I liked going in and just doing things myself, and that's how I would really learn. So especially when I was in university, I was working as a software developer for the past 3 years, and I liked making projects just on my own, like coding uh, for products that I was like really passionate about. And at one point, just I lost a lot of passion for what I was doing, especially when I started working, and I lost a lot of like that kind of drive. Sorry. And then I found doing like marketing on the side was like really bringing it back up, and I liked doing technology, and I wanted to integrate those two, so marketing and technology. And I really didn't know how to do it. So I started I at the same time that I was working at the software company, I was also selling things online. And that company went really well for a period of time. I was able to quit my engineering job, and then until it didn't. And it lasted for around 7 months. And I'm like, okay, now that this company isn't working anymore, what am I going to do? So it was either I go back to doing software development at the previous company, which was good. Like it wasn't going to be great after I just quit the company, or I can figure something else out. Like I have enough money from the last company to pay rent, to pay the bills. So what am I going to do? So what I started to do is I went on Upwork and Fiverr, and I started to do freelancing. And I did freelancing in coding and engineering, coding websites. And I had some marketing experience too. So I started to offer services of marketing as well. And between the two, the one that was coming out the better for me personally, not as like a general rule, but personally for me, was a lot more people were asking for marketing services. So I started running people's Facebook and Instagram ads, and I saw that there was a really, really good market for a short video marketing, especially in the coming year. And TikTok had just exploded during the pandemic. So I really took advantage of that. And after that, especially I got a lot of clients with TikTok and Instagram and through Upwork. And it was just so much work that I needed other people to come help me out. So I started hiring people, and now we're a team of 3, and we're a short video marketing agency of we basically just focus on short video marketing. But hopefully that answered the question. That I wasn't super academic student. I just like to do things on my own. And even to this day, my parents still want me to get a master's degree. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to break their hearts with that one, to be honest.
Well, I think your story kind of highlights, today's landscape for getting jobs. And it's not maybe that college route or the master's route that can get you a job that you like and maybe even love, and that's engaging, and can be done from an office, a home. I think your story really highlights that. And I also really like your kind of grit and your stick-to-itiveness. One thing stops, you focus on something new without really missing a beat. So I think that's a credit to you, and probably a credit to your upbringing and your parents. So
For sure. And it was just it was a really good, funny thing, because I was talking to a friend about this like this weekend, and I was telling him about like the past business that failed. And I just mentioned, I'm like, you start to get very, very creative with ways to make money when your rent is due the next month. So it's true. I don't know who said it, but it's true that necessity is the mother of innovation.
Yes, Edison, I think, but don't quote me on that.
Oh, perfect.
So you've kind of already answered the next question I had for you, which is, tell me about your work now. But let me ask you, the second part of that is, where do you see it going?
I really, really like marketing. So one of the biggest mistakes I had at the beginning was that I just focused on so many things and so many streams of trying to make income, that I never really honed in on one particular thing. So I guess to answer your question, I wanted to build up this marketing agency because I definitely think that there's a lot of potential for short video marketing right now. And I think that a lot of people don't notice the shift that's really going on with what TikTok started during the pandemic, and what it's echoed in with other platforms, such as on Instagram. Instagram Reels is super, super popular. Facebook is also coming out with its own version of Reels. And even if you see YouTube also has shorts, and those are being pushed very, very hard by the YouTube algorithm. So I really want people to know that that's the next wave that's coming in, and that I can really help their company out to do this kind of stuff. And with this, I just want to ride the wave of increasing this marketing agency and making it as big as possible, and helping as many people as I can with it.
That's a great outlook. So, this podcast primarily is through educational technology. And as I mentioned, I was really interested in again, I feel you're a teacher in a lot of ways, is that you're presenting information in short bursts that's I think people can latch onto and learn from. But let's just tell me about school in general. You've kind of hinted at that school sometimes wasn't always the right fit for you. Can you just tell me about where you see school fitting into maybe this educational or this technology landscape? You've said how it's changed kind of the business world in a lot of ways. What do you think about education? Just your opinions.
I think education is good. I think everyone needs to have some sort of education, but how they get it, it kind of just depends on the person. again, just because I was really different with that, with the fact that it was very difficult for me to concentrate with something that I wasn't very interested in. And even in my last year of university, and I'm going to be like super candid with this one, but with my last 2 years, actually, I was on probation because I wasn't attending classes, I wasn't handing things in, and I'm not saying that's the way to go, by the way. I'm just saying that was my own personal experience with it. And in hindsight, looking back, I should have maybe paid a little bit more attention because I was paying for it after all. So I think that just the information is just so decentralized nowadays that you can go on YouTube and you can learn a lot of things. In terms of like formal schooling, there is that aspect of like the social interactions. I made really, really good friends in school. But in terms of maybe like efficiency, I think that that's something that needs to be worked on. And I don't know, like I don't want to say that I have all the answers because I really don't, but I think that there's a way that schools can be more efficient with what they're trying to sell to people for them to continue going. So I don't know if this is like a non-answer, but I think that schools need to be more efficient with how they package and how they sell themselves, and provide something more than just than something that people can find online. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, actually, I think it gave a lot of food for thought. And I think, again, looking at what you've created with your videos, I see where kind of what you're talking about fits into the landscape of giving kids an opportunity to learn in different ways. And my personal belief is that teachers as creators is a great way to go too. I think,
yeah,
you mentioned you can get a lot of educational videos right off of YouTube. But to me, your kids, will benefit from seeing, high quality YouTube videos. But I also think they'll benefit from just seeing their teacher, in short, quick bursts of content and video. And I think it kind of refreshes the teacher's kind of mindset and gives them that hopefully a creative outlet as well.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like there definitely has to be that also in-person interaction too. Like I think COVID has like taught us that the screen interaction just isn't sufficient for everyone.
True. Yeah.
But I don't know, like it's an interesting thought experiment, to be honest, of where they can meet halfway with that.
Yeah, I agree. Like kind of building a bridge between the two worlds. Yeah, you don't want just one. And you're 100% right. I know a lot of kids struggled with remote learning, especially younger learners. I think you need that human connection in person.
Definitely.
All right. So let me just ask you this, inspirations. What are your inspirations for where you are today?
Actually, this is like a very useful piece of information that I wish I would have learned earlier. For me, I don't have a degree in marketing. I don't have a background in marketing. But I did have mentors who helped me out with this. And when I was starting my marketing agency, again, no experience at all. So what I did was I went on this website, and on this website, it had like a bunch of really big marketing names on them, big marketing companies. So I was like, I would love to learn how these people got to where they got to. So what I did was I used a software called Apollo.io. I got people's emails from LinkedIn, and I messaged a bunch of CEOs and their companies, and I asked them, hey, do you have like a few minutes to chat? I just want to ask you a few questions. I'm like, when I started, I was like, I'm this 24-year-old kid, and I just need help to start a marketing agency, and I want to know what your experiences were. So I think 80% of them ignored me, but you only need those few who reply to make a really big impact. And I'm still in contact with a bunch of with I think pretty much everybody that I messaged, and they gave me some very, very good advice of how they started off, what are the things that they would have done differently, and where they are now. And just one of the very, very good pieces of advice that these mentors gave me was that you shouldn't model industries. You should model people. So as in, if you see somebody who inspires you, just I guess to answer the question, like these head of marketing agencies, model what they did rather than modeling the marketing field, because marketing is always going to change. There's always going to be a different way to get from point A to point B. But at least when you're modeling a certain person and how they did what they did, then at least you have some kind of target, and at least you have some kind of rough non-changing roadmap. So I guess to answer the question, it's like I had a lot of mentors who inspired me in the marketing field, I would say.
There's some really good advice, and certainly thoughtful. And I think if I'm to look back over my career, that's definitely good advice, is kind of choose. I've always said, in any kind of organization, there's the energy positive people, the energy neutral, and the energy negative. And you want to look for the energy positive because they won't really search you out. You have to kind of go search them out. And whereas the energy negative people will search you out, they'll try and pull you into their little web of misery, and the energy neutral are just, going to be there. But seek the energy positive. So I think that's great advice. All right. Well, I've taken quite a bit of your time, so it's time for the Speed Geek questions. And I'm going to throw a few curveballs at you. I know I gave you some of them, but I might throw a few curveballs at you. So first of all, what is on your bucket list? Where would you like to go?
Oh, on my bucket list, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people say like skydiving or bungee jumping, but I'm okay dying and never having done that. Like, I'm not going to be on my deathbed with regrets for that one.
Any places you want to go visit? Any things you want to do?
That's a really, really tough one. Let's just I'll keep it like a very, very simple answer for maybe places I wanted to go visit. I've been to Japan once when I was not that long ago. I think like 6 years ago, and I really, really want to go back to Japan. I don't know if have you been to Japan before?
I have not.
I highly recommend
go there
it.
too.
It's just everything is like so organized and so structured, and there's like just so much. There's just so much organization and like good practice in everything that they do that sometimes it puts us North Americans to shame with how much
You're right.
with the structure. So I want to go back to Japan and hopefully bring some friends and even bring my family back there and just have a tour with them before I die. But I think that's doable. I hope that's doable.
I think so. Okay. Favorite way to unplug from technology?
Oh, favorite way. I run and I cycle a lot. I'm on this app called Strava. I don't know if you've heard of it before.
No.
It's like an exercise app. And if I didn't do this, the two things that I do is like I run and I meditate, because like I think I can be like a very emotional person. And I think that especially when you're running a business and you have to kind of just keep your emotions more under control, it's something that I really struggle with. If I didn't have those two things, if I didn't have like meditation, I meditate like 10 minutes a day, which I thought was like very cliche, by the way. When I started, I'm like, oh, come on, this is just like what hippies are doing. It actually really, really helps. And during the evenings, even tonight, I'm going to go for a 40-minute run, just like to relax a bit and just to get like my head on straight before the night ends.
Nice. All right. Favorite animal?
I say dog. I really like dogs. I had a golden retriever. I love dogs so much.
How come you like dogs?
I think it's just my first, actually not my first pet. I think I had like goldfish before, but just like the first pet that I really got emotionally attached with. So I'd say dogs.
Great. Favorite color?
Favorite color? I like green and red, but everyone's like, oh, they like Christmas. So
okay.
But yeah, green and red.
All right.
Answer.
So I've heard like pop psychology, your favorite animal, the qualities in your favorite animal are the qualities you see in yourself. And your favorite color represents kind of your outlook or personality. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Now I'm wondering if I have like a golden retriever personality.
Maybe. All right.
Maybe.
So are you a gamer and what's your favorite game?
Yeah, I am a gamer. I mean, okay, no, because I think I'm going to insult a few people if I say this. I'm a very low tier gamer. I played the Nintendo 64 when I was a kid. That was my first console, and I really, really like Legend of Zelda. To this day, that's my favorite game, Ocarina of Time. So
Nice. Okay. And favorite social network?
uh favorite social network, I would say I'm gonna keep it good for my generation. So I'm just gonna say it's Instagram.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much. You really are an inspiration. I see a really bright future for you because you've got a really good focus. And again, you're an educator, so don't maybe education is in your future. So
Maybe. Maybe.
I see there's going to be a lot to your life. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for your time, and great to see you.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Appreciate it.
All right.